Pearson VUE, what we're concentrating on is obviously computer-based testing. So this is the ability to, instead of obviously doing your test in paper, you do it on computer, and really talking to the Indian market about what computer-based testing is. Because if you think about it, in India, there's an enormous amount of testing that goes on, whether it's entrance tests into university or it's tests to get jobs in ministries or in terms of in different places around the country. And some of the numbers are enormous. 1.5 million tests in some of the entrance tests, and we've seen that people have looked at how do we take paper tests and put it on computer. Now, the thing about a paper test, traditionally that's normally done on one day, and when some people have looked at computer-based testing, they say, well, maybe what we should do is actually, we do 1.5 million tests on a certain day in paper. We then just take that paper and put it on a computer and then do 1.5 million tests on the same day. In our minds, that's not computer-based testing, that's paper-based testing on a computer. What we want to talk about in the Indian context is how you actually take the full benefits of computer-based testing. And what are those benefits? Well, there's a number of benefits. One is obviously get increased security, but also there's candidate convenience. Instead of doing testing on one day, you can then do testing across a number of days, or to the most extreme, you can do on-demand testing, which means that you can do the test whenever you like as a candidate. But there's some issues with that. People will say, well, is it fair, is it reliable? If someone does a test on a Monday and I do it on a Tuesday, and I see different questions, are they the same? Well, that's where the real science comes in. And that's where measurement science comes in, and the psychometricians and scientists who understand about testing and how different questions can be equated and actually be a fair and reliable test. So I think that's one of the things that we're really focusing on from a Pearson VUE perspective. We think Indian market for us is extremely important. I mean, if you think about India, it's just the numbers and the scale is tremendous. If you think about it, there's 1.5 billion people in India, 33 or 36 million people are in higher education. It's the largest higher education market in the world, second largest higher education market in the world behind China. And I think also from a skills perspective, India certainly has the motivation to be the skills capital of the world. So I think there's a lot of opportunities for someone like Pearson VUE and Pearson globally to help India achieve some of those goals and really work in partnership with government, with industry, and with other providers in the education space to see how we can actually address that tremendous challenge of skilling up India to help become the global skill capital of the world in 2030. If you look at the figures, for instance, if you think about how many people have had skills training in India, it's only about 4%, which is, compared to somewhere like Germany, which is 60-70%, there's a tremendous gap, and therefore there's a tremendous opportunity. In terms of bridging this gap, this is part of bridging this gap, events like this, where we're really bringing industry together, we're bringing the government together and agencies to really start to debate these issues and understand how we can look at what's happening globally and put that into an Indian context, but also listen about what's happening in India and look at that from a global context. So I think this is part of that journey, and also how we can help, whether it's in partnership or whether it's in technology or whether it's in know-how, about what we've seen around the globe. Because from an assessment perspective, for instance, Pearson VUE works with nearly 500 different organizations around the world, helping with their assessments, which are high stakes assessments related to careers and people getting certified in different industries, whether it's in IT, finance, whether it's in medical, whether it's entrance tests into university. So we have all that sort of learning that we can bring to the Indian market as well, in terms of what we've seen more globally, because we work and deliver tests in over 120 countries around the world.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.